Okay, we are diving back in today. Sorry, I was out of town, so I had to take some time off from uploading. But we are continuing our journey through the College Board question bank with linear equations in one variable. We're on question 31. There are only, I believe, 65 questions in this category, so we're going to try to finish the set tonight. So buckle up, let's dive on in. Again, linear equations are just using the standard definitions of slope and y-intercepts. We might see some parallel lines and perpendicular lines along the way. It is one variable, so I don't expect to see too much of that. We're looking mostly for x, just solving for either x itself or some variable or some manipulation of it. Let's go ahead and take this first one, for example. We've got 5 times x plus 4 equals 4 times x plus 4 plus 29. They don't care what x is. They want us to find x plus 4. So we can basically treat that as if it is just its own variable. I showed this in a previous video where if you have a repeated term and you don't care about what the guts of that term are, you can just replace it with a simpler thing. So I'm going to choose A here. A is going to replace anywhere we see x plus 4. So that's much easier to look at and much easier to solve for. So 5a equals 4a plus 29. So that means a is 29. You just subtract the 4a from both sides. These cancel. You get a equals 29. And remember, a is x plus 4. That's what we wanted in the first place. So that makes our answer C. And they ranked that as a 2 pip difficulty. So not too bad, actually. Question 32 in the bank for F7 is the ending code. Kathy has NCDs. Jerry has 3 more than twice the number. So they're building an equation here for us. The words are the expression. So if Jerry has 3 more than twice the number of CDs, so 2n. In terms of n, how many CDs does Jerry have? 2n plus 3, so that's going to be D. And remember, as I'm going through these, pause the video from time to time and try it yourself. If you're just here for a quick answer and a verbal explanation, then more power to you. But if you have not yet attempted these questions and you want to do them with me, please do pause the video before I dive in on the explanation. All right, the simple plug it in kind of question here. We've got x equals 7. 7 plus 20 is 27. So no need to write it out if it's that simple. Just do it in your head. Right, this is cutting off the edge there. I don't think any of the words over there are very important, but let's go ahead and do it. We got question 34, ending 364. Jim charges one-time $36 enrollment fee. We should understand that in the context of a linear function to be the y-intercept. So 36 plus a $19 a month fee. If there are no charges, probably no charges other than the enrollment fee and the membership, how many months will a member have been charged a total of $188? So equals 188. Now it's just a matter of isolating x. So subtract 36. We get 152 is 19x. Divide by 19. And so obviously you are allowed to use a calculator. 19 divided by 19 just cancels down to 1x. 152 divided by 19. You might look at that and be like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Well, how many times do you have to multiply 9 to get an ending of 2? So it's going to be 3. But it's going to be more, or what is it going to be? Times 10 is 190. Let's try 8. Because 8 is 3 more than 5. That's kind of how I did that in my head. Because if I do 19 times 5, that's 50 plus 40 is 90. And 8 sorry, 3 more, 19 times 3 is going to give us 30 plus 27. Is that right? Yeah, no, that's not going to do it, is it? All right, I tried being tricky. I'm just going to cheat and use a calculator. What I should have done all along. I don't want to mess it up. 152 divided by 19. It is 8. Okay. Huh. I'm multiplying weird. 30 plus. Oh, you know what? It's not 40, it's 45. There we go. So 95 there. 30 plus 27 is 57. 57 and 95 indeed make 152, I believe. So that's kind of quickly what my brain did. But doing it out manually, I actually messed it up. That's math for you. You do it enough times, you do it long enough, you can kind of intuit what you're doing. I imagine this is what grandmaster chess players feel like, is they can't really explain why they do what they do. Maybe they can explain why they do what they do. But I imagine when they're playing it in the game, they just kind of intuit what they're doing. And you want to practice enough to the point where you get there. All right, we got 4, 3C. Give it a shot. 7x equals 28. Of course, we divide by 7. X is 4. So 8x is 8 times 4, which is 32. B. Actually, we didn't write an answer down here. C. All right, number 34. Number 35. Ooh, big old boy. All right, 35. Number 507. Is it 35 or 36? Nope, 36. Did 35. I listen to music every time I make these videos. If you guys want me to pump the music that I'm listening to into the stream and just have it as like little background music as I do the math, let me know. Right now I am listening to jazz, a little smooth jazz to do some math tonight. All right, let's see. Big old graph here. I'm going to skip all that. I'm going to go right to the bottom of the paragraph. We're going to go right down here before we even bother reading the context, because we want to know what the question is, right? And the question's always at the end. What of the following best approximates the original price of the Glenview Street property? So we know that we only care about this. The purchase price was $140,000. We want to know what the original price was. So let's go ahead and read through the context here and see what they're doing to get the purchase price, because there must be some manipulation between original and purchase in order for this to be a real question. So let's go up. 5 properties, who cares? The amount a company paid for each property, fine. Rental price, we don't care about. They purchased Glenview and got a 40% discount and a 20% off the discount. So this is kind of a linear functions question. This is more appropriate for percent manipulations. So 40% discount is actually 60% of the original cost. So 0.6 of the original. I'm going to use D for the original dollars. So 60% of the original, but then we're going to get 20% off of that. So that's going to be reduced down to 80% of that discounted price. So D is the original price. Then we're going to pay 60% of that original price, but we're going to get an additional 20% off. So we're paying 80% of the discounted price. Okay. So they ended up paying $140,000. So now it's a simple matter of multiplying and dividing. 0.8 times 0.6 is 0.042, right? 0.042? Calculator. Don't trust your brain ever. 0.8 times 0.6. 0.48. Yeah, never trust your brain. Do the math. 0.48. D equals 140,000. That just goes to show that I am doing this live. 140,000 divided by 0.48 is 291. And all the sixes, 666.66 repeating. All right, so they want what is closest. Yeah, what approximates it. 291, 700 is B. All right, next one. Question 37. 9B2 is our ending code. Give it a shot before I explain. There may be a trick to this one. Yep, there is indeed a trick here. So whenever you see that manipulation, they don't want X, they want some manipulation of X. There's often, not always, but there is often a trick here. They want 16x plus 8. Have you noticed it? You can multiply each term by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8. 12 times 4 is our answer. We don't actually have to solve for x when they want a manipulation of x. You can just multiply by some term. I believe this is question 38. Ending CO2. What value of W does W minus 10 equal 2 times W plus 5? W minus 10. We're going to have to do some math here. 2W plus 5. Some basic algebra. Go ahead and distribute the 2. We got 2W plus 10. W minus 10. Add the 10. Subtract 2W, or I hate my variable being negative, so I'm going to subtract W and subtract 10. So we get negative 20 equals W, and we're done. It just saves a step. You don't have to flip any signs on anything when you do it that way. Question 39. Code 597. We got 2p plus 1 plus 8p minus 1 equals 5p. So you recall the trick I showed earlier of replacing things. We cannot do it here because that's plus 1 and minus 1. We actually have to do the distribution. What value of p? So 2p plus 2 plus 8p minus 8 equals 5p. We're distributing there. Combine like terms, we got 10p minus 6 equals 5p. Sorry for my funky looking 6 there. Clean it up. There we go. Subtract the 5, add the 6, we get 5p equals 6, and p is 6/5. All right, next one, number 40. If you're in the Chicagoland area, feel free to message me. I do private tutoring, and I do own a couple of tutoring centers. If you have anybody kindergarten through college, send them my way. My team is great. 6 plus x equals 9. 18 plus 3x equals what? This is the same trick. Did you notice it? We've got times 3 this time. Times 3 times 3 times 3 gives us 27. And we got the next one, 41. 740, the ending. Each side of a 30-sided polygon has one of 3 lengths. Oh, okay. Interesting question. So a 30-sided polygon. Normally I would try to draw something here, but 30 sides on a polygon, imagine a die, like a 6-sided die, but with 30 sides instead. You're never going to be able to draw that. accurately has one of three sides. The number of sides with length 8 is 5 times the, okay, here we go. This is building an expression just like we see in our answer choices. So the sides with length 8, let's call those E, is 5 times the number of sides N with length 3. So 8 sides. I'm going to build a table. Let me finish reading the question before I come up with a strategy here. I've never seen this question before. I'm assuming too much. So back up. Let's read the question and then decide on a strategy. Okay, so sides length 8 is 5 times the number of sides N with length 3. 6 sides with length 4. What must be true for the value of N? I am going to build a table for this. That's going to help me stay organized as we determine how many sides there are for each side length. So there are 30 total. So sides with length 8 plus sides with length 3 plus sides with length 6 adds up to 30. There are 8 centimeters, so 5 times, if n is length 3, so we got 8, 3, and so 8, 3, and 6. So the number of sides is going to go over here. So here we have 5n, here we have n, and here we have 6. I'm mixing up my numbers here, sorry. There are 6 sides with length 4, so that should be not a S, a 6, but an F. And there are length 4, and there are 6 of them. So 5n, n, and 6 are the number of each of these lengths. So in terms of n, we can write this expression, the same expression. 5n plus n plus 6, which of course collapses to 6n plus 6, which is b. It was 41, 42. Sorry if that was a little confusing. I feel like I should explain this one again because I kind of stumbled my way through that one. So what I did here is I determined a variable name for each side length. So side length 8, side length 3, side length 4. The number of sides for each category has to add up to the total number of sides, 30. The 8 sides of length 8, sides of length 3, and sides of length 4. However many there are. We don't care what the total length is. They didn't tell us anything about that. But they do tell us the number of sides should add to 30. Side length 3 is given that it should be in terms of n. So building this table, side length 8, there are 5n of those, 5 times more than sides n, so 5n. Side length 3 is n, and they tell us that there are 6 sides with side length 4, which is where this correspondence comes from. Then I just replace it up here. E corresponds to 5n, T corresponds to n, and F corresponds to 6. 5n plus n is 6n, and 6 is 6. So 6n plus 6 is our expression there. 42. 070 is our code. We've got 4x minus 1/2 equals -5. They want 8x minus 1. Do you see the trick again? This time times 2, so -10. They made that one a 2-pip difficulty, even though the other ones were only 1 pip. I wonder if it's because there's a fraction in there and people freak out when they see fractions. Oop, yeah, 43. 763 is our ending code. Got a linear function. They say that it has no solution. Remember what no solution means. If you said that it means that our slopes are the same, that there is no solution, that we have two parallel lines, then you are correct. We should understand that correlation here. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on. 3x plus 21px. So negative 3x plus 21px equals 84. And they're saying that there is no solution for this. So that means that these x terms need to cancel completely because there are no x terms on that side. There are 0 x's. Is that what that means? Yeah, that's pretty much what that means. So I need negative 3 and 21p to add to 0. So negative 3 equals 21p. Divide the 21, negative 3 over 21 equals p. 3 over 21 reduces to 1/7. So B is our answer. The negative, don't worry about the negative. I forgot to flip the sign here. They need to add to 0. So I should have written that. If you've taken physics, you've done this with your energy diagrams. They need to add to 0. So you do plus 21p equals 0. Then you subtract it over, you get negative 3 equals negative 21p. 3 over 21 equals p. The negatives cancel out, and then of course you get your 1/7 there. So B. Okay, 44, getting there. About halfway done. How are we doing on length? We're 20 minutes already. All right, because I've kind of rambled through this one, I've made it a longer period of time for each question. We'll go ahead and wrap at number 45 and split this into 2 videos. 2, 3t minus 10 plus t equals 40 plus 4t. What is the value of 3t? 3t is right there. I'm not going to do the trick where I replace it with something because I want 3t and I don't have a 3t kind of repetition here. There's like, I can't just like isolate for that term. Maybe I can, but there's another lingering t here and I want to clear those off. I want to isolate t completely. So I'm not gonna replace it with something. So we're gonna go ahead and distribute 6t minus 10 or 20 rather plus t equals 40 plus 4t. Combine like terms. So we got 7t. I'm going to go ahead and move the 20 over. Equals 60 plus 4t. Bring the 4 over. We get 3t equals 60t. Oh, 3t is 60. Haha. It worked out right at the end. Okay, 3t is 60. Don't need to continue. And this is 45. This will be our last one for the video. D2D, because we're already past 20 minutes. I want to keep these a little short, as opposed to like my hour-long rambles through the tests themselves. We have 2 answers for each option. 2 values, I should say, 2 values for each option. The value of x plus 6 is between which one? So x plus 6 is the numerator of each of those things. I'm not sure you can read that. Let me go ahead and zoom in. The font size on these PDFs is just all over the place. All right. We've got x plus 6 over 3, and that's equal to x plus 6 over 13. That's kind of weird. That feels like it should be a contradiction, but apparently it's not. So how are we going to solve this? We could say a over 3 equals a over 13, cross multiply, and we get, I mean, you could graph this. 3a equals 13a. You divide, the a's divide off. It almost doesn't matter what a is, right? Like this is, and you get 3 equals 13, which is a contradiction. Is there a negative that I'm missing here? Oh, okay. You can't replace it with a simpler term here. That strategy will not work on this one. Because when we cross multiply, we have to distribute. So when we cross multiply, we get 13 x plus 6 equals 3 x plus 6. You could argue that you could divide that off. It's still going to be the same problem, but let's go ahead and follow through. 13x plus 60 plus 18 is 78 equals 3x plus 18. Subtract the 3x, 10x, subtract the 78 equals negative 60. X equals negative 6. So that would lead us to answer A. I'm going to verify this one with Desmos. I haven't got that in my screen sharing setup, but I can go ahead and add it real quick. Let's go ahead and get Desmos pulled up. Okay. And then pull up Desmos here. We got x plus 6 divided by, gotta open a parenthesis here, x plus 6 divided by 3. And on a new line, I'm going to do x plus 6 divided by 13. And we get an answer, negative 6. We should only have one answer. These, I believe, are going to be linear in nature. Yeah. Yeah, they are lines because you got x over 3 and x over 13 is your slope kind of thing, and your y-intercepts are 6/3 and 6/13. So yes, negative 6 does indeed end up being our solution. So I'm going to go with the A there. All right, that does it for that. Let's go ahead and check our answers. All the way back, number 31. F36. We've got C, D, 865 is C, 364C, 43C, B, 507, B, 962, or 9B2, sorry, that is B, CO2 is D, 597. We got 6/5, 699, 27, 740, B, 42 is 070 is D, 763, B, 2D8. Oop, forgot to write the code down for this one, but it is indeed 60. And then 2D, or D2D, B. Oop, did I write A? What's going on there? Oh, do you see it? X is 6. So what is the value of x plus 6? 0. So the answer should be B, which is why I always tell my students to read the actual question, maybe even underline or circle the question being asked. On the actual test, you can't do that, but you can write it off separately. You could do something like x plus 6 equals question mark, which I probably should have done here, followed my own advice. but I did not. That does it for this video. Give us a like and subscribe if you feel like you learned anything. If you didn't, give me a like anyway. If you feel like there's a better way to do some of these things, or if you think I missed something, please drop a comment in the thing down below. If you want to listen to the music that I'm listening to, say so. It's quite pleasant to do math to some light jazz. But anyhow, I'll catch you at the next one.